Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're here for our weekly update where we talk a little bit at the end of each day about what happened that day. And then we wrap it up with a question from a viewer across one of my platforms. And today, what did we do today? This is Saturday. And today we separated a handful of chickens. So a couple right there in that pink coop. And then we'll just walk over here. And a couple in this, falling in a hole. Couple in this other coop here. And the reason we did that is because that's a naked frizzle. By the way, that's a rooster called Naked Frizzle. Why is he called Naked Frizzle? I don't know. That's his name. So, there goes Arwen. But that rooster has a couple of hens. There's a rooster in there that has a couple of hens. These are our breeding groups. It is going to warm up a little bit. And because it's going to warm up, these guys are separated so that they will only be mating with the correct rooster. Okay, I don't want weird roosters. I want the correct roosters. So I don't want Jabba, our mixed breed rooster, breeding with them and then hatching the wrong eggs. Hi, DK. So they are in there so that they can breed, lay eggs that are the correct chickens. That's basically what we did today, is separating them out. Everyone's doing okay today. Everyone seems to be all right. You know, they're out here doing their bunny thing. We got bunnies everywhere. A couple of bunnies over that way. Everyone's doing really well. They are okay. And the other guys out here are just fine, but that was our big thing that we did today, was separate out the birds that we want to breed, because I can just hatch random eggs from there if I want some more layers. But I want some of my purebred silkies with my very specific chickens that I've picked. So I have Naked Frizzle in there, I've got Lucy, and I've got one of the black hens. Lucy is our lavender. But there's a real specific reason for them in that pen together. And it's because their genes complement each other and they're the ones I want. So because they're the ones I want, there goes Shadowfax. Because they're the ones I want, they're the ones I've separated. That way we will be able to make absolutely sure that these guys breed together and I get the right mix of genes. So that's basically what we're doing today. That was the entirety of it. We will see what happens on Sunday. Well, it's Sunday, and Blue has been loud today. He's in the pen right now, but he wasn't. He was out here being Blue. You're very loud, Blue. Very, very loud. Blue's, there he is. He's very loud. But what else did I do today? I cleaned the shed because it had to be cleaned. There's stuff everywhere, bags and all kinds of stuff. The other thing today is I had a sneaking suspicion I'd accidentally misgendered a rabbit. And it turns out I was right, because it turns out I checked the gender of my girls when they were only about 3 weeks old, and I don't think I ever checked them again. So it turns out one of them, Silverado there, is a boy. Which means these ladies are more than likely all pregnant. Okay, that's what that means. And look at all this mud that we're starting to reveal. Because things are melting now. But, yeah, that's a boy. That means these ladies are all likely pregnant. In fact, I think Andersen probably has to be separated right away. Maybe even stump there. Andersen's looking a little chonky. So, yeah. My bad. But that's what happens when you don't check. Because we were keeping Silverado anyway, it didn't really matter. So I didn't double check the gender. These guys are doing fine. They are separated for breeding. They're looking good, feeling good, being happy ducks. So yeah, that's what's been going on Sunday. Oops-a-daisy. So over the next few days, we will have to go and figure out where we want to put them for having their babies, we're going to use that. We're going to use a couple other things because there's 4 girls probably going to have babies sometime in March. Exciting for us. We do love baby bunnies. But that was our Sunday. All right. Well, it's Monday. What did we do on Monday? Well, it's not cold. Well, it's cold. It's, it's cold. Look at the snow. But I'm saying for this time of year, it's not horrific. It's just above freezing. Things are melting. Look at this. You can see how gooey it's getting, which means things are getting icy. But that's okay. We've been raking out, I know this sounds gross, but we've been raking out some of the manure to give Shadowfax places to walk that are not slippery. We will continue to do that just so that we absolutely can make sure Shadowfax does not end up slipping and getting hurt. Those are the ducks. Duck, duck, duck. What else did we do today? Well, we double checked that, because I didn't want to make another mistake, that Mr. What's-his-butt over there is 100% definitely a boy. And he is. He's a boy. Which is, good. So what we did is we have Andersen, we'll go over and take a look, but we have Andersen going on in here actually because she looks kind of chunkily pregnant. So because she looks chunkily pregnant, I have separated her because she's obviously been in with a boy. We are going to separate the others and give them a little space. So she's got kind of a small space because we weren't really prepped yet. She'll get to move unless she doesn't have babies, then she gets to go back to the big pen. But for now, she is where Falcon was. She's just right here, looking good. She's got food and water. I know she kind of looks like Falcon, but she's not. That's Andersen. She's also a caster. So that's essentially what we've been up to today. Over the next few days, other girls will get separated, mostly because we're worried they're pregnant. We're not worried. We were going to breed them anyway. And if nobody has babies, then what we'll end up doing is we're going to be breeding a couple of them at the end of the month anyway. So it's kind of irrelevant if they're pregnant or not. We just might have more babies than we would normally expect at a time if we end up with up to 4 litters. Ducks are under the picnic table again. But that's essentially what's going on with us here today. We'll see what's up on Tuesday. Well, it's the very end of the day on Tuesday. The sun came out. It has been cloudy and disgusting, and the sun's going down. But it's been cloudy and disgusting all day. So it's not been fun. It snowed. You can probably see if we go over here, you can see it snowed. It snowed again, and it's kind of chilly. And because it snowed, this is basically an ice sheet. So now the sun is coming out, and it's supposed to be sunny and fairly warm tomorrow. So because it's supposed to be sunny and fairly warm tomorrow, there's blue. But because it's supposed to be sunny and fairly warm tomorrow, in the afternoon anyway, not in the morning, but this stuff should start melting again, so maybe I'll be able to get something done tomorrow. I actually don't expect I will. I do have Celeste going home tomorrow, so that's good. But at any rate, the sun came out just in time for the sun to go down. So the sun's going to start setting right away. So not much was accomplished today other than I burned some strings, some hay twine, some baling twine, and some feed bags because it actually snowed. Not heavy snow, but enough snow. And we swept off what we could from the areas where we walk, so that's why that's pretty clear. But at any rate, hopefully it doesn't snow again. I want it to warm up. I am done with snow. Oh well. Well, it's Wednesday, and it's starting to get dark. And honestly, I didn't really accomplish anything today. What did I do? I made some candles, and I made some biscuits, and that's almost it, to be honest. I didn't really do much. I'm going to pop my head in here, check on Andersen. We are going to be separating other bunnies. I'm just not doing it today. It didn't exactly warm up. No. Just check on Andersen, how she's doing. She's using a litter box, which is odd because she doesn't actually use a litter box. She's not trained for that. And I don't see any fur or anything, but yeah, I'm pretty dang sure she's pregnant. I don't know when she's due. I'm going to turn this light off. Not that one, this one. But I'm not 100% sure when she's due because I don't know 100% when she got bred. So I don't know. Because I don't know, there's a light. Because I don't know, I'm not sure when she's going to have babies, but she's definitely going to have them. So we'll have to wait and see. There's Arwen. There's everybody being crazy. But yeah, our Wednesday was a pretty nothing day. Shadowfax is eaten. I think most of the birds have gone inside for the night. And most of the rabbits have settled down for the night as well. So, yeah. we have to clean these guys up. Let's just see. Yeah, that one still works. Good. Just checking. Just checking. That one worked. Okay, I think they work. It's just some of them are not getting darkened. But yeah, and pretty soon I'll be able to take these guys down. I keep getting questions. Why are these guys still up? It's because if you try to rip them out of the ground when the ground's frozen like that, they're going to break. So hopefully I'll be able to get those guys down in the next couple weeks. Because things are melting. Even though it snowed yesterday. See, things are melting a little bit. We cleared this off, but it is a little bit wet because a little bit melting happened today. However, it's not going to be a super warm next few days, so melting might have to wait. We'll see what Thursday has in store. Well, it's Thursday. That means pizza for dinner. I'm very excited about that. We do homemade pizza every Thursday because we can. We enjoy pizza. But mostly what we did today, other than get ready to make pizza, I mean, I had to make roasted chicken to shred because I have to, because that's just the way it is. Hi, sweetie. We moved Deli. Deli is looking a little chonky. So because she's looking a little bit chonky, we moved her because I think she's quite pregnant. I mean, if you look from the top, she does look a little wide. We think she's pregnant. Pretty sure you're pregnant too, but no babies in here yet. Because we don't know when they were bred, we don't know if we should be planning on babies now, like today, or 2 weeks from now, or we don't actually know that. So that's why we are starting to isolate the ones who look chonky. Just in case, because we don't want anyone having babies out there, because it's not that that's not manageable, it's that it would suck more. And it's starting to snow again. Jeez. I'm really getting sick of snow. And it's not sunny. It was sunny this morning, but it's not sunny now. But everyone else is good. Everyone is good. We've got some birds hanging out in the penned area. Some birds hanging out over here with Shadowfax and Arwen. Everyone's kind of just doing their bird thing. And Shadowfax and Arwen are just eating their hay. Thank you, ducks. Got a hold of the farrier today. So farrier will be out on Tuesday. So that's good. Because it does need to be done. The moment it starts warming up, all of a sudden everyone's hooves start to grow. So we literally can go months without trimming hooves in the winter. Because it's so cold here. People who live in warmer climates, they don't understand that it's so cold here, hoof growth literally stops in the horse and the goat. But the moment it starts warming up, it's like, boom, I have hooves again. So, yes, the farrier will be coming out on Tuesday to trim up those feet. So, that's what we did today, mostly. Yeah. So, that's all for Thursday. I really wanted to warm up on Friday, and I wanted to stop snowing. It's snowing again. I'm ready to quit winter. Oh well. Well, it's Friday. It's Friday. It's cold. It's actually really cold today. That's not fun, but that's okay. It's cold. It's sunny. It's supposed to be really nice on the weekend. It's supposed to be above freezing on the weekend, and it's not right now, but it's supposed to be. Right now, it's like 20 below. 20 below. Hate it. Anyway. Everyone is doing just fine. And the question I was going to answer this week is how do I get started in homesteading and or hobby farming? Good question. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. That's a boy. But how do we get started? That's a good question. Bonnie is just chilling. And Falcon is eating something. Anyway, so how do you get started on hobby farming? Good question. The thing you should not do is, woo, slippery. The thing you should not do is sell everything, right? Do not sell everything and move to a remote area in the country and buy all the animals and plant all the crops and think you're good to go. Because it is a bit of a plunge, especially if you're a city person who's never done this kind of thing. Now, I've never been a city girl. I lived in the city for like 2 years. When I was young, going to university. 4 years, I guess. But other than that, I'm not a city girl. I grew up in the country. But if you're a city person, suddenly deciding that you're going to come out and be a country person, and not just a country person, but a homesteader and or hobby farmer, yeah, that's not going to work. It is a big adjustment to going from living in the city, living in an apartment, to now it's worth it. It's worth it. I think everybody should do it, but not everybody should do it. Even though I say, yeah, everyone should do this, not everyone should. So how do you get started? Before you sell everything and move to the country, do one thing, okay? Pick one thing. One thing that you think you might want to do. So maybe that one thing, hi Blue. Yes, hi. Maybe that one thing is going to be, hello, gentlemen. But maybe your one thing, your singular thing, will be planting tomatoes. Plant tomatoes where you are. Okay? Maybe your one thing is getting a couple of chickens. If you're allowed to have a couple of chickens where you are, then get a couple of chickens where you are. Okay? Maybe your one thing is having a rabbit, maybe a breeding pair, and you're going to start doing rabbits. Do that and do it for a year. Pick one thing that you've not done before, do it well for a year, and then see how you feel about it. Learn how to do it, become an expert in it, then decide if that's something you want to keep doing. Because the one thing you pick is probably the thing you're most interested in. Maybe it's baking your own sourdough. Maybe it's starting a garden. Maybe it's raising an easy to raise animal. Pick one thing. How we doing? I got to change your litter box. Oh, you're looking wide, hun. I don't know when these guys might be due, but she is looking wide. She's not looking much skinnier. So at some point, I think we're going to have babies. I would like you guys to hold off a few more days to get out of this cold weather. I'm sick of this. Anyway, the one thing you pick to do is probably something that, one, you're interested in. Okay? It's probably something you already kind of wanted to do. And it's probably something you like. Pick that one thing and do it for 1 year. Okay? Before you plunge in and get all the chickens and all the goats and get a bunch of cows, you absolutely should do one small thing for a year. Why? Because if after a year you hate the thing, you're like, you know what, that was fun, baking bread for a year, but I don't want to do it anymore, then homesteading is not for you, or at least the sourdough baking part is not for you. If raising chickens was not for you, at least you'll know that before you bit off way more than you can chew and end up with a poultry farm. Okay? So definitely pick a thing, do it for a year. If after a year, you're like, yeah, I like that, I'd like to add something else. Now it's time to start thinking if you can add something else where you are, if you need to move, or now it's time to start making a plan. But while you're making that plan, add a second thing. So if you started with sourdough baking and you love doing sourdough, now maybe graduate to learning to do jams and jellies, or learning to can things. Maybe you want to do pickles. Pick something else and add that to your repertoire. Well, you're deciding, okay, do I need to move to the country? Do I need to move further into the country? Is where I'm living now conducive to what I want to do long term? Maybe, maybe not. But this is the time to think about all that. So take some time, figure out if you want to actually do any of these things. And if you do actually want to do these things, make a plan. Spend a year making that plan. Well, you've added a second skill to your repertoire. After that year, are you moving? Maybe. Maybe you're fine where you are. Maybe you already had a country property. Add a third thing. So maybe now you have sourdough and you're making jams and you've got chickens. And if you're in your third year, you can probably add another thing. It probably doesn't have to only be one thing. Because now, if you have had, some homesteading, some gardening, or some baking and an animal care experience, maybe you can add something else. Maybe you're like, okay, I've done well with my chickens. I'm going to add rabbits and goats. Okay? Build slowly. Do not jump all in and go absolutely crazy. Okay? Do not bite off more than you can chew. The number of people who start hobby farming or homesteading or both, and then 5 years in, give up because they really tried more than they wanted to try, is astounding. So you don't need to go from living in the city and being in an apartment and never having grown a tomato to living in the country and homeschooling your kids and living off the land and raising goats in 2 months. You don't have to do that. You don't even have to do everything. You can decide, as an adult human being, which parts of hobby farming or homesteading are for you. Not everything is for everyone. So I don't raise cattle. I don't eat beef. I have alpha-gal. I can't eat beef. So I don't eat beef. I don't eat pork. So raising pigs and cattle would be dumb, first of all. But I'm not particularly fond of cattle. So I don't have cows. You don't have to do everything. Maybe you really like fresh produce, but you don't like gardening. Well, it's okay to not garden. It's okay to maybe trade your millions of eggs because you love raising chickens for fresh cucumbers or fresh tomatoes because someone else really loves gardening, but they don't love raising chickens. It's okay to not love everything. Just don't bite off more than you can chew. If you're only biting off 1 or 2 things at a time, then what you can do is understand at the beginning that you can abandon that particular project. You can decide, you know what? I don't want to grow tomatoes because they're so annoying. And some people hate growing tomatoes. I love growing tomatoes, but some people hate it. And that's fine. So go slow, start small, only do the couple of things that you know you're going to enjoy to start with. And then start experimenting. Start experimenting with things that maybe you didn't know if you would enjoy or you thought you'd hate. Because over time, you will find out where your interests lay. Not everyone should do everything. Most of us shouldn't do everything. Most of us should decide, we're drinking out of a mud puddle. You have fresh, beautiful water, and you're drinking a mud puddle that you had to smash the ice on yourself. You're lucky it's in the sun. Anyway, that's not the point. It's cold. It's cold. They're lucky there's anything. What are you doing? They're lucky there's anything that's even sort of melted. Anyway, go slow. pick up each task one by one, and it's okay to abandon something if you hate it. If you hate growing tomatoes, you don't have to. You can trade for tomatoes, you can buy tomatoes. Not everyone has to do everything. There's far too many people who are all or nothing, or will tell you you have to be all or nothing. Far too many people who will tell you, well, if you buy your tomatoes, you're not really a hobby farmer or a homesteader. Well, yeah, you can be. Not everyone has to do everything. There are degrees. Okay? So build slowly. Decide what you want to do, one thing at a time. So you don't, I don't know where he's going to join the other one. There's birds in the bush, and that's where he's going. Ducks like to stay close to home. But go slow, build slowly, decide what you want to take on and what you want to abandon. It's okay to decide turkeys aren't for you. Okay? It's okay to decide that. Like, we love our ducks, they're not for everyone. Also, she's molting. She looks great. Yeah, you're molting, honey. But it's okay to decide that a certain task isn't for you. Go slow. Okay? Don't immediately abandon your city life and move out to the country. You might really hate it. And that's okay. But you don't want to have invested in a property and animals and garden space and it turns out you hate it. So pick a couple of things that you can do where you live, where you already live. Decide if it's worth it for you. Because if it's not worth it for you, that's okay. Right? It is okay if certain tasks are just not for you. Just, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you bit off more than you can chew and suddenly you're at home all day with your kids because you're homeschooling them. And in addition to that, you're also having to go look after a herd of goats and a bunch of cows and a flock of chickens, and you've got 12 turkeys, and you're losing your mind. Okay? Do not put yourself in that position. Go slowly, and it's okay to decide, yeah, I like most of the stuff, but I'm not going to homeschool my kids. It's okay to decide, I like most of the stuff, but I hate growing corn. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay to not want chickens on your farm. It's okay. Pick the things you enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. All right? That is my big message for this week because someone asked, how do I get started? And the answer is always going to be, start small. Okay? Very, very small. Whiskey, leave her alone. He's like, no. Whiskey's neutered, by the way. So him being weird is just him being weird. Anyway, that is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Good luck on your hobby farming or homesteading journey, and don't bite off more than you can chew. We'll see you tomorrow.